Greetings, students, and welcome to nutrition. Happy first day, first announcement of FCS 6, which is nutrition. My name is Melinda Westland, and I will be your instructor for the next very fast-paced 6 weeks. 6 weeks, right? So we're in a summer session. Kudos to you for signing up, but understand this is going to be extremely fast. I'm basically taking 18 weeks of my traditional semester length schedule and condensing it into 6 weeks. And I don't omit any material. So in other words, what you would have learned in your 18-week course, you will learn the same thing in this 6-week course, but it's going to be a whole lot faster. Because if I were to omit some information or not have you be responsible for some learning, it doesn't help when you continue on with your health science classes or other courses that you're going to take, and I haven't given you that foundation so that you understand nutrition. And you want the most bang for your buck. You want to get all the information out of it you can. So it is going to be really fast-paced. All right, that being said, a little about me. You can really read my bio on Canvas to kind of give you the nitty and gritty of who I am. Yeah, I have some degrees, so I can teach this class. Good. But also I'm really passionate about teaching. I absolutely love my job. I'm very fortunate to love my job. So I love teaching. You will typically find some form of video or some form of audio connection in our learning material because online courses are really challenging. And they're challenging because we don't have that human connection that we get in a face-to-face classroom. So you're going to find that I like to do that. I like to connect with you as much as possible. In general, you're going to find I'm a very organized person. If you look at the syllabus, you're going to be able to see exactly what the expectations are. I'm pretty diligent about being organized. I'm definitely very approachable. So if you have a situation or anything we need to talk about, please feel free to reach out to me. Okay? And throughout the summer session, you're going to hear more about my kids and my family and the way we eat and health and nutrition and how that kind of all comes into play. All right, so as I said, we're going to have a really fast pace, all right? I typically do weekly announcements. So I like to start off the week by an announcement. There'll definitely be a posted announcement, but I try to do video announcements as much as possible too. And in that announcement every week, I will go ahead and lay out what are the chapters we're learning this week, what are the activities that you are responsible for this week, or exam, or whatever we have going on for that week. I want to lay it out for you and maybe give you some direction on the assignments going on, right? Every week, I typically move the new module up to the top of our list of modules that will be taken care of. When you log on to Canvas this very first time, coming up on Monday, make sure that you explore the first module, which is called Introduction to this course. There's several tabs on there. Some of them are about technology and Canvas. Others are about, again, about me, how to contact me, my availability. They're about what questions you should be posing to me, when you should be posing those kind of questions. Definitely our syllabus is on there. So you can print out a syllabus if you're the kind of person that's a visual learner and you like to have a hard copy. You can print out the syllabus. The syllabus is also going to be online on the screen for you, right? So make sure to first check out that introductory module with several different pages on it before you jump into chapter 1 or into our first week of learning, because that will help you have a structure or an outline of what we're going to be doing as we continue on. One of the pages you're going to find really helpful on Canvas is called the syllabus tab on the left-hand side. The syllabus tab will give you a course schedule. It's basically all of the different activities, exams, assignments that we are doing for the month, or for the 6 weeks, month and a half, will be on there with due dates. And I always find this page useful because I'm a pre-planner. So I need to kind of know when are things going to be due, and then I can plan when do I start writing or when do I start working on them, when do I make sure to do certain things so I have more time for something else, right? Now, not all of those assignments will be open. Because if we're going to be doing an activity based on malnutrition, which is like way down the road at chapter 18, I'm not going to open that activity up until we get to learning about chapter 18, right? So not all of them will be available, but you will be able to see the dates that the exams or the dates the papers will be due and things of that nature. So I really like the course syllabus tab. All right, so with this nutrition class, there is a textbook, and you are able to purchase an older version of this textbook. So I think we're on edition 4. So if you go to Amazon or Chugg or eBay or any of the other sites, you can probably find the 3rd edition a lot cheaper than you will the 4th edition. That's fine with me if you buy an older edition, if you rent the book, whatever you want to do. There is also a textbook on reserve in the library. So if you just wanted to use the reserve book, that's fine too. So whatever works. However, what you do have to have is what we call an iProfile code for this class. And that was being sold at the bookstore. You could buy your textbook along with the code, or you could buy one without the other. So for some of you, you may decide to go ahead and buy, like I said, a later edition textbook, and then just buy the code at the bookstore. I don't know that you can get the code anywhere else. I think it's only at the bookstore, but I know that the book is available in other places, right? So that's an option to you, but you need that code. You can't pass this class without the code, because you are going to be doing a 3-day diet study of yourself. And in order to do that, you're going to need to log on to a separate kind of website called iProfile, right? And there's a tab in that introductory model which will explain, it has a flyer and it tells you what numbers to put in and how to use the code. But you want to do that as soon as possible, just so that you get comfortable or you've logged on successfully, so that when I give out the instructions on how to do this diet study, you're ready. So make sure that you look into that particular code, right? All right, so again, if you've never taken online courses, you'll realize very quickly that online courses require a lot more work on both our part, actually. I much rather prefer to do face-to-face classes just because it's pretty easy. I show up, I do some talking, we do some activities and connection, and we're good. But with online, it takes a lot more work on both our parts. From the student perspective, you're required to do a whole lot more self-teaching, right? A lot of instructors will basically say, here's the PowerPoint slides, learn it. Here you go. And so that requires you to be much more responsible for understanding and grasping the information. Therefore, since again, my goal as an instructor is to help facilitate learning, what you'll find is for every chapter that I have listed there, like for chapter 1, you're gonna find 2 different items on the page for chapter 1. The first thing you typically will find is a video. And in the video, you will see the PowerPoint slide, but you will also see me up in the right-hand corner, and you will also hear me. And so it's similar to being in a classroom where I will go through the slides and I will be talking, trying to give you examples, trying to further explain what you're looking at, right? Obviously, you should be reading your textbook for further explanation. However, I'm going to say right now, it's a heavy textbook, right? Nutrition in general talks about chemistry and talks about some chemical reactions, and it's kind of deep on some levels. And so this book is seriously thick and it's seriously deep. Like sometimes it takes me some time to get through one chapter. So understanding that, I'm trying to give you a little bit more audio and visual information for each chapter. So by no means are you required to listen to the video. If you can grasp this information on your own, no problem, but it's there for you. In addition to the video, which is just a YouTube video, all of the videos should be closed captioned. So if you're like me, I like to have the words at the bottom of the screen. You should be able to do that. So, but if you don't want to use a video, or let's say it's time to study for the exam, and you don't want to necessarily listen to me talking about the first few slides when you want to get back to the end of the slides, I also post up the PowerPoint slides by themselves. And so you could just go look at those when you're preparing for your exams. In addition to using those slides for your exams, what you're going to want to do for every single exam that we have, which we'll have 3 exams, you're going to want to print out, or for some of you who like to do things, you know, on the computer, download a study guide. So I make learning really simple. Okay? For every exam we have, there will be a study guide that covers the information on the exam on that study guide. So our first study guide is chapters 1 through 6. Our first exam is chapters 1 through 6. Okay? For every point or item on the study guide, what you're typically going to find is when you look at the PowerPoint slides, you're going to see that I've tried to highlight in red the information that's going to be pertinent to you for the exam. It's going to be important for you to write down for the exam. And it should match what's on the study guide, right? It's pretty simple, not rocket scientist. However, please use it. It's an aid I'm giving you. It is something that I'm directing you because my goal is for you to learn the correct information. My goal as an instructor is not to trip you up and have you memorize this book from cover to cover, which is unrealistic. I want to direct you in what I think is the most important for you to know for this class, right? Not that you shouldn't be understanding a lot of other concepts, you should, but you know, I have to limit the size of our exams. So again, you'll want to use your study guides. There'll be 3 study guides to correlate with 3 different exams throughout the summer session together. All right, so again, this is kind of self-taught, but I'm giving you that further explanation there. So this coming week is week number 1. So again, first thing I told you to do is look through all of those different pages under the introduction to this course module. So you know, how is it going to flow? How is it going to work here for nutrition? Second thing we're going to be doing is this week, we're going to cover chapters 1, 2, and 3. For every week, I've been breaking up the book. The book has 18 chapters, and we can pretty much tackle 3 chapters a week. So we'll be doing chapters 1, 2, and 3. So you're going to find 3 different tabs or pages for chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. Okay? And again, you're going to want to print that study guide to correlate with your information. You're also going to want to see, or you're going to see that I also have some activities lined up. We have 3 activities this week, right? We'll have 10 activities total for the summer session, and we're starting off with the bang with 3 this week. You'll be able to see the date they're available. You'll be able to see when are they due, and you'll be able to see when are they available. So the open date is when I've opened it so you can see the instructions and submit the activity. The due date is you need to have the assignment in by that day and time for full credit if it's done correctly. The available date means that if you read your syllabus, you'll see that I do accept activities 1 day late. There's a penalty, right? So there's a point penalty for turning in your assignments late. However, I leave the activities open for 1 additional day for you to earn partial credit. And that's why that's the available date. Now, certain things don't have an available date. Certain things are just due when they're due. Number 1 is going to be your extra credit, exams, quizzes. Those things don't have due extra dates. They are due when they're due, okay? But be aware that we do have several things going on this week, right? Several activities that we're going to be doing. Also, for our different discussions and activities, I've broken you up into small groups, right? There's like 100 students plus in this class. So I think it's unrealistic for us to do introductions and think that we're all going to remember something about each other. So I've broken you up into small groups of about 8 or 9. So when you do your intro and you respond to group members, you're really only connecting with 8 or 9 people, and you'll be doing that throughout the whole summer session. So every time we have an activity that's a group activity, it's the same people you'll be working with. Again, my goal is to help you make some connections, help you get some support for studying or asking questions, what to do, things of that nature. So we'll be in small groups, okay? Know that also on our discussions page, I always have a couple open things. So the first one is what we call just kind of like an open forum for any questions. So it's called the student lounge. So if you have a question like, oh man, I forgot, was I supposed to do the assignment double spaced or single spaced, or was I supposed to upload it as a file, or I don't remember, you know, you can ask that to any of myself or classmates, and we can all reply and say, oh, this is what it was supposed to be, or, oh, this is what was expected of you. But any kind of questions, because a lot of times if you're thinking something, so are 10 other students in your class. And so this way we can kind of help everyone to have the same information. So that's open for the whole summer session. The other one that's open is going to be, I think, what I call the open nutrition discussion forum. So let's say you happen to go to a really interesting restaurant, or you go to a farmer's market and you see something really interesting that we've been talking about. Feel free to post something, post some pictures of your food, post a video of you shopping in the farmer's market, you know, anything that kind of enlightens us to being exposed to different foods. Let's say you travel this summer to another state or another country or another geographic region, and they have foods that we don't see. I was just in Hawaii recently. Woo! Wonderful vacation in Hawaii with my family. And, you know, the food was very, very different than what we might eat here on the mainland. So anything like that that you want to share is just information and formative for us all. Okay. So that's how this first week's going to go. Again, I am always available for questions. Feel free to email me via Canvas or Outlook or however you'd like to do that. I can set up times for you. We can FaceTime, or I can just do a phone call meeting with you if you want to do like have office hours. So this is like an online class. We don't have specific office hours, but we can do that together. All right, well, guys, I'm super excited to start off this nutrition 6-week session together. Please feel free to give me any feedback that's positive or negative, anything that we can do to make your learning a much more pleasurable experience. So, see you soon. All I gotta do is find the stop button. Okay.